Okay, in this video, we're going to work on dimensioning assignment number 1. And I want to teach you a couple of things about organizing your documents. So I'm going to first go into, so I went to documents, I'm here. Now I'm going to go into create. And I want you to create a folder. Okay, I want you to call your folder IED. And from this point forward, you're going to put items in this folder. So it's IED. Okay, so now I'm going to call mine IED video because I'll put my videos in this folder, but you're not going to do that. You're just going to call yours IED. Okay, so just call it IED and say create. Okay, so now you're in the IED folder. So click into that, and I'm going to create under this. You're going to go to a document, and you're going to create your dimensioning assignment number 1. So your document name under the IED folder is dimensioning assignment number 1. Okay, and hit create. Okay, so this is where we want to be. So I'm in Part Studio number 1. And you can see that my assignment name is dimensioning assignment number 1, and that's what you should see. Okay, and you can see your folder that it's within should say IED. So hopefully that's all good. Okay, so I want to create a sketch. So I'm going to tell it I want a sketch. And I want to select a sketch plane. I'm going to select on the front, so I can select it here. And then it's happy with my selection. Okay, so I'm going to build that part called Dim 1. Now what I would do is I would go ahead and I would do some dimensioning, write your numbers that you need on your sheet of paper so that you can go a little quicker once we start dimensioning. Now there's a couple of ways you can do this. I'm going to use the line tool, so I'll show you that. It's not the only way, and there's other ways to do it. But let me show you the line tool. So first off, I'm going to do a sketch, a line sketch from the origin straight up, and I want to go a distance of 1.5 and hit enter. Okay, so that's good. I'm going to actually escape now from this tool because I want to work on the horizon, which is the x-axis. So I'm going to pick up my tool again, and I'm going to start from here, and I'm going to go over a distance of 0.75, and then I'm going to go up perpendicularly, so that's that little straight line symbol next to it, that means it's perpendicular, and that's going to be a distance of 0.50. Oops, did it tell me to do it? Okay, 0.5, there you go. Okay, then I'm going to go over, still using that line tool, and I can see the little hash mark tells me that it's parallel to the x-axis. So that's going to be a distance of 1.75. Hopefully your numbers are matching mine. And then I'm going to go down to the line, but I'm still going to have it type in a distance of 0.5 just to make sure that it's accurate. And actually, I think they didn't like that, so maybe we'll go back. Well, let's just keep going forward. Okay, so now I'm going to go forward a distance of 1.5, and I'm going to roll this in a little bit. There you go. And I'm going to hit enter. And now I want to go vertically from here on up a distance of 0.75. Okay, I'm cutting in, cutting back. That distance is 0.1. Oh, excuse me. It's 1. So I'm coming in this, a distance of 1. Then I'm going to go up. It looks like another distance of 1. So I'm going up 1. So that's 1. And now I'm going to come back out. And I'm coming out a distance of 0.7, of 1, excuse me. Oops, what happened here? Hold on. Okay, so let me clean this up, and I'll turn this back on. Okay, so we're good. So I'm going to come out here, And I'm going to go back out a distance of 1. Keep it horizontal. Once you click, you're allowed to go into the little dimensioning box. Okay, then I need to go up 0.75. I want that to be 0.75. And I'm now going to go over 3. So I'm going over 3. That's going to be 3. And then now what I can do with no dimension, I'm going to connect to the end. That's why I went up first. Okay, so now I'm done. I'm going to escape away from my tool. I have my piece. I'm just looking at it to make sure that I don't see anything unusual. I don't have any goofy numbers, so I think I'm okay. So tell it that you're done with your sketch. And now I'm going to turn it slightly so I can watch the extrusion. And I'm going to extrude it, and looking at my directions, it says to do that a distance. So tell it what you're going to extrude. And you're going to just do a distance of 0.25 and hit enter. Okay, that's your first part. Now, I want this part not to be called part 1. Okay, oh yeah, I have to just hit check. I want this to be called part, wait, let's see what they didn't like this. Let's see what they didn't like. Edit this, hang on. So maybe what I needed to do is redo that. Okay, so let me go back. I'm going to edit it. So I'm going back to the front. So if this ever happens, I think what it didn't like when I did this measurement. So can I delete that dimension? Yes, that was the whole problem. So that dimension that I put on was over dimensioning this sketch because it was already locked on to the axis. So that's what happened there. So that's good to know how to get out of trouble. Okay, let me turn it sideways again. Say that the sketch is done. And they dimensioned it for me. I'm good. Okay, what I was about to say was, once you have your part down here, now right click. I'm going to rename that first part dim 1. Dim space 1. Now I have that first part done. Okay, our next thing that's going to happen, we want to create another part. So I'm going to, let me just work out how to do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I did was I went in, I clicked, and I created another part studio. So my second part studio is going to be for my dim 2. Okay, so now notice I'm under here. So I'm under the same category. That's going to make life much easier for me than to go in and out of the documents. So in this part studio, if I were to go back up here, I would see that I have dim 1. So I'm going in part studio 2. Now I can't really rename it yet because I haven't built anything. So let's go ahead and build something. Okay, so this one I'm going to go from the front, and I'm going to take a second to do the dimensions so I can figure out what I'm going to sketch. Okay, so you do the same. Okay, so when I build this piece, I've decided I'm going to start as a rectangle. So let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to tell it I want to sketch, and I'm going to select this plane to sketch on, my front plane, and I'm going to make it a rectangle. So I'm going to grab this tool now instead. Now, so just bear with me. So make yourself a rectangle. Okay, so there's a rectangle. So I'm going to write in my dimension there. It's going to be 4 across the bottom rather. And then I'm going to escape out of the tool, and I'm going to dimension, let me escape out of the tool. Escape. Okay, so if it doesn't let you escape, unclick it. I have to dimension this top. So let me just do that. So let me get my dimensions on here. That's going to be 2. And let me just make sure that this was indeed 4. Oh, so let me make that 4. Okay, so now I have my nice little rectangle. So that's a great thing, but you're going to say, well, this doesn't look anything like a rectangle. So watch what we're going to do. We're going to create this arc. Now, when I look at that, I'm seeing that this is going to have a radius of 1. So I want to click, and then it's going to let me put that radius of 1. So when you look at it, you're going to see, oh yeah, that's exactly what it's going to be. So try to figure out from the center on up the center of the little circle on up. Do you see how you're going to get a radius of 1? So the diameter of that whole circle I'm kind of building is 2, but the radius is 1. And because it's being built as a series of arcs, now you can grab another arc. Now it's going to give you your typical measurement. So look, oh wait, I have to just tell I want to do that. So let me get that arc and then hit yes. It does the arc. You grab these two lines, and tell it yes, and then grab these two lines, whoops, and tell it yes. And so I should have gotten everything done. It looks like what I want. Now I still need to place these circles because there are little circles inside. So they start at the center of the arcs I just built. So what I'm going to do is I have a point there, so that's good. So I'm going to grab my circle tool and grab that point that came from my circle. Let's see if I can grab it. Let me try to do it over here. Okay, so let me do it here so it's a little bit clearer. Okay, what is that diameter going to be? Well, I'm going to have to estimate. I would say it's 0.4 radii, so therefore it should be a 0.8 diameter. So I'm going to click yes, and I'm going to tell it I want it to be 0.8, and we're good. Now watch what I can do. I can grab this center, and if I just kind of, oops, I don't want to do that, hold on. I'm going to turn off my circle tool, and it's off. I'm going to grab the center, and if I come along, so let me just see if I can let me do this. Sometimes it'll let me just line it up, and it's not letting me line it up. So I'm just going to put it back where I have it, grab my circle tool again. I want to start here. There it is. Okay, see what happened? I grabbed the circle tool, I went across, and it let me make sure that they're on the same line. So now I want to have this also be 0.8, and I'm good to go. So I believe I have everything I need right there. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to turn it slightly so I can get ready for the extrusion. Tell it I'm done with the sketch. Come up to the extrusion. Grab only this so that it makes it holes. So I didn't grab the circles because if I grabbed the circles also, it would have filled them in. But now by doing this and not grabbing the individual circles, in addition to the outside of the part, I have my holes. So this also is going to have a depth of 0.25. So that's good. So I have that. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to tell it, yes, thank you, I'm done with the extrusion. Come back down here. I don't want this to be part 1. I want this to be renamed as what? Well, you should be saying as dim 2. Okay, done. So that is done also. Okay, so now I want to create another part. So let's see where we're going to do that. If I go in here and I say create, what do I want? I want a part studio. So this is part studio 3. And now I'm going to create that last feature. Now let's see what we want to do with that. I am going to, well, I'm just going to sketch it out and it's fine. Okay, so let me go to the front and there I have it. Okay, I want to show you how to use points. So I want to show you something a little bit different so that you have this skill set. Okay, so what if I wanted to do the following? I'm going to do a sketch, and I'm going to first take a second, and you're going to take a second also and dimension it so that you have your dimensions handy. So do that now. Okay, so hopefully you have a strategy as to how you're going to build this. So this is what I'm going to do. I selected the front plane again. I'm going to start with a rectangle again, and I'll show you some little creative tricks you can do. So here I'm going to build my rectangle. I come out, and I tell it that I want that to be 3. And I'm going to escape out of that tool now, and I'm going to measure again because I've done something incorrect. So I'm going to make sure that my measurements are what they are. So if you can do it directly on your part, go ahead and do it. Otherwise, this is the way to do it. Okay, so that's going to be 3. and this is going to be 2. So from here to here is 2. Okay, so that's 2. Okay, so now you may be saying to yourself, well, this is not what this looks like. Well, that's okay. I'm going to do some kind of fun little things that will teach you some ways you can build creatively. Right here is a point. So I'm going to put a point on here. Okay, there's a point. You can see it. I want to dimension that point. So I want the distance from this point to the origin to be exactly 1.5. Okay, so I'm using a point to do that. Then I'm going to do another point. So grab your point tool, and I want to put a point right here. Now, when I dimensioned this, I looked and I said, okay, I want the distance, so I need to get my dimension tool. I want the distance from this point, or this corner, to this point to be 3. So it'll move. What did I do? What did I do wrong? No, I don't want it to be 3. I'm sorry. I want it to be 2. So let me redo that. Let me make this. I'm going to do that. I want to clear selection. Let me see if it will just let me just, yeah, there you go. I double clicked on it and I can now do that. Okay, so there's my point at 2. Now, the reason why I wanted to do that is because look what I'm going to do. Grab your line tool and make a line from that point to that point. Now, you're going to say, well, what does that do? Well, look what I can do. I can trim this corner and get rid of this point. Okay, so that gave me the corner I needed. Okay, now look at the lines they put on your sketch in the upper right-hand corner. They're telling you that the radius of that arc is 1. So remember where the arc tool was? It was over here. So I'm making an arc. Oh, no, excuse me, that's not it. Where did I get my arc tool? Okay, so hold on. Let's see if we can find it. Okay, it's not that. It's not that. Oh, it's under my circle. Okay, no, it's not there either. So where did it go? So I'm so sorry. It's right here. Here's my arc tool. Okay, so I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to tell it that I want that to have a radius of 1, which they already did because I did that before, and they thought I'd probably like that radius. So there it is. So that's the radius of 1. So now I have my outside shape. So now why don't we use the point tool one more time. So I'm going to put a point, say someplace here, and then look what I want to do. I want to tie that point horizontally to another point here. So they're on the same horizontal line. Now, why did I do that? Because I need to position the center of that circle. So where is it positioned? So let's see if we can figure that out. It looks like it's at 0.75. No, excuse, yeah, 0.75, 0.75. So I need to have the distance from, so turn on your distance tool, from here to here, going that way, to be 0.75. Boom. Okay? So then I want to do the same thing. I want to dimension the distance from here to here, going that way, to also be 0.75. Boom. So that was great. So let's do the same thing on the other side. It's also 0.75 from the far right corner. So my dimensioning tool is still on. So from here to here, 0.75. And from here to here, 0.75. Okay, good. Oh, so now you see what happened. I tied it to it. So remember what happens when the red lights go on. The last thing I did, I want to escape that dimension. Or maybe I can just delete that dimension. Can I delete that dimension? Yes, I can. good. Because since I tied this horizontally, I didn't need that other dimension. And that's what the red told us, okay? So I want to show you these things so when they happen, you have a way out. Okay, so now I need circles there. So grab your circle tool, and I'm going to come in here, and what's my radius? Looking at that, it looks like I should have a diameter of what, 0.5? Because it's one block. So that diameter will be 0.5. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Grab that point, and that diameter is going to be 0.5. And we have another part done. Okay, so that should all be done. I'm just looking. Does that look okay? Oh, I think, what's this measurement here? Let me just see if I can pull that out. Nope, I don't want that. So I'm going to escape out of that. Let me get rid of that. Okay, let me turn off that tool. Something doesn't look right in here. So let me just make sure that this height should be 1.5. So let me just see what that is. Oh yeah, it is 1.5. So what looks odd? Something looks irregular. So I want to know, oh, I think I know what happened. I think it came down, right? Did it come down on me? It did. So we need to figure out what went awry. Because if that's 1.5, I'm okay with that. But then I needed to have this height. This height has to be, this height here has to still be up high. So I'm going to try to go back and kind of fix that. Because I need a height to be on here that's going to be higher so that it looks correct. Because see how my figure is not good? So I'm going to go back and fix that. And meantime, you can make your extrusion, and I'll come right back. Okay, so I kind of locked in this little piece by putting points and measuring them. And then when I did the radius, the arc over here, it didn't take it so far. So I think that looks better. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this slightly sideways. And I'm going to say the sketch is good. I now want to extrude. Now remember, I want it to have holes. So I'm going to extrude this. And I'm not going to touch into those holes. So then it's going to cut those circles out, and I can see my holes right there. Okay, once again, you're going to have to change this to 0.25. That's good. So we're good there. And now we are here, and I want to rename this. So let me say that I'm done with that. Okay, that's good. Now rename this as dim space 3. So this is, let's do this again, rename dim space 3. Whoops, one more time, third time's a charm. dim space 3. Boom. Okay, so now I have all my parts. So now I'm going to come up to Part Studio 1, and I'm going to say create, and I want to create a drawing file. Okay, so I'm going to grab the Good Counsel one because that's available to me. So I'm going to grab that and say okay. Okay, so notice this says part 1 of 1. So I'm going to have all the drawing files on this one sheet, on this one document. So it'll be one PDF, and that's the best way to do it. So that's how I want you to submit this. So let's see what I want to do. I want to make a drawing file. I'm going to open up Part Studio 1, and there's dim 1. Now I think I should be able to move this out of my way a little bit, so that's better. Okay, so I want to place that here. Let's see if I can place it. I'm going to insert it. There we go, insert. And I want to insert that part. Let's see if it, there you go, here. That's it. And here, and remember we can only probably do 2 at a time. And then I'm going up here and come back to the inkwell and come up here. Okay, so right click on this one. And once you get out of that, so I'm going to get out of it. Now right click on it, and I'm going to say show shaded views. Okay, then on the other ones, right click and say show hidden lines, because they'll be important. So let's see if we're going to check to see where I have hidden lines. Don't have them there, but I think I'm going to have them here. So it says show hide, show hidden lines, and there they are. Okay, so very good. Okay, so we have no circles here, so we don't have to do any center marks. So we're going to now work on dimensioning. So we want to dimension this part. So look at this. Remember the rules of dimensioning. You have to figure out that you're going to have your overall length, width, and height dimensioned, and then you're going to go from there, okay? Okay, so let's grab our dimensioning tool. Now we need to make sure that we have enough dimensions on here. So why don't you first try to do the overall, this is going to be the overall width. That's going to be right up here. Okay, then I'm going to do this couple of little segments. Let's see what I'm going to do. I think I'll go from, maybe from here to here. So I've got that little piece. So that's going to nest under here. Okay, so what else do I want to do? I think I want to go from, because I'm eliminating this one. So let's go from here to here and pull it up straight, and I get that distance. So notice how I've nested all of these. Now, do I want to do this up here? Let's see what that would look like if I did. I don't think I want to bring it up. So I think, because I've done that piece, I may have to do a couple of more little things down here. Now, what do I see? I see that if I've kept it in the house, it's going to get messy. So why not go from this corner to here, pull that down, because I don't have this measurement yet. Put that in the center, and then I can grab here to here and pull that down. Now, do you think I need this guy? I don't think so, because I could get that as the distance to 4, because 4 is the overall. So I don't think I want any more here, so that looks good. So what else do I need, do you think? Well, I'm thinking I have a lot of overall. If I thought this was too busy, I could put the overall here, but I'm not going to do that. So I definitely need to have this measurement here. So what is this? So if this was width, I need a height and I need a depth. This is a depth from here to here. So let's get that depth in there. Okay, and it looks a little better if it's like this, because look how hard that is to read. So I think that's a better way to present that. Okay, so now we have other things here. Can we do some dimensioning here? Is this a good place to do it? And I think it is, because you can kind of appreciate the contour better here. So I have that. Maybe what I'll do is come from the bottom and maybe go to here. Okay, I'm going to pull that out a little bit and keep that down here so it's a little easier to read. So I think I still need one more piece here. I think I'll pull this up, and I think I can get all the other pieces just by figuring things out. Okay, so I think I have everything I need. Now, I need to put some, I need to think if I need to put any center marks. And I don't have any circles, so I have no center marks. So I believe I am good to go. So let me do one thing over here. I think all my measurements are good. I don't need to do anything else. I'm going to pull this open. Okay, so you see how this says sheet 1 and it says dim 1 in progress? So now I just finished this. So let me uncheck this and let me add another sheet. So I'm going to say insert sheet. Okay, so sheet 2. What do I want there? So I believe what I want is to come over here to Part Studio 2 and say create Nope, don't want to do that. Let me cancel that for a second. Okay, so let me resume. So we're going to get another sheet in here now. So now I'm going to open this sheet, and I want to put another part in there. So in sheet 2, so let me not do it that way. So let me go back. I'm so sorry. We go back into the drawing file, and I wanted to put something in here. So then now at this point, I believe I'm going to say I'm going to insert. And I want to insert from Part Studio 2. So I'm going to grab this guy, and I'm going to start positioning him. Okay, come back to the well. Back here. Oops. And here. Okay, so you can go ahead and do, the drill on this. Escape from here. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say show hide, show shaded view for this. Okay, here we're going to right click and say show hidden lines. And those are from the circles. Here, say show hidden lines. Shouldn't be any. Here we're going to have other ones from those holes that went through that we built from the circles. So show hidden lines. Good, there you have them. Okay, so a couple of things. So on this document, to dimension him or her, you still need to have some overall dimensions. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to say, okay, what do I want for overall dimensions? Well, let's see. I need to place things because this is a little different. I want the radius, right? So let me go to my dimensions. And if I grab this, I can grab it. It says R is 1. If I double click on that, I get this box. And here is where you're going to say T, Y, P. Okay, and then hit enter. And there it shows up. Because remember, all of these are that radius. You do the same thing with the hole. Let's go grab your dimensioning tool again. Grab this hole on the outside. And I'm going to do the same. And now here's your diameter measurement as opposed to the radius. So double click on this guy. And you're going to type in TYP here as well. And because you did it once, it gives you that as an option. Okay, so other things. Let's get some more dimensions on here that we need. We need to know the distance. Let me turn dimension on again. We need to know the distance between here and here. So I'm going to pull that down because that's important. We also need to place this top. Okay, so I know I have placed these holes rather. So I want to know how far this point is from this edge. Okay, and I'm going to pull it out. And I see that. So let me escape out of that and do that again because I don't like the way that pulled out. So let me say, get rid of that. And I'm going to do that. Hold on, escape, escape. Okay, let me just go back one. That probably will do it. Okay, so let me do that dimension again. So I want this dimension to be from here, which is the center, to here, and I'm going to pull it out like that. Now, I'm going to put this outside the house because I don't want to cross these measurements I have out there. So that is okay. All right, so we need to put some little things on our hidden lines. So let me see what I want to do. If I pull this down, okay, I have some center marks. They're already there, so that's good. But let me see what happens if I hit that again. Will they get bigger? No, so center marks go on automatically, so that's good to know. Okay, pull this down again, and I want an edge-to-edge center line. So that means make this a little bit bigger. Grab that center line, and it puts that So this is hidden line, hidden line. Here's your center line. Okay, let's do the same thing up here because you need two of them. So I kind of have it, but it's not really valid. So grab this vertical section, that's hidden line, that one, and it puts it there longer. Remember, it has to extend beyond the object lines. Grab this guy, and there it is longer. Okay, so I need a couple of more marks. So I'd like to be able to put a dotted line. So let me see, 2-point central line. Can I go from here to here? And yes, I can. Okay, that's going to be important. And how come? Because that's telling me that this height's also 1. So I grabbed that up here, and it was called a 2-point central line. So that was very good. So I liked that a lot. Okay, we need some overall dimensions. So overall dimensions are going to be, pull your dimension, let's go from here to here to get the overall width, and then I need another one. I need from here to here to get the overall depth. And then what else do I need? I believe I'm going to need from here to here to get the overall height. And there you go. Okay, so now I'm done. That one's done. Okay, I want to get another sheet. So do I get it here? Yes, I do. So I'm going to say insert sheet. Okay, so what do I want to do now? I want to get that other shape. So let me double click on that. Oops, sorry, double click. You get that. I want to insert, so let me see how I'm going to do this. I'm going to say, if I do that, will that do it? No. So let me play around again. So I want to figure out where that part, insert view. I'm going to insert view, and I want a different view. What view do I want? So say insert again, and we're going to pick Part Studio 3. And that's what I want. So I'm going to put this one in now. So I have 1, 2, come back here and grab there, and then come back here and grab here. Now, these are kind of high up in the air. So I did this intentionally. So what I want to do is I want to grab this corner and pull it down. Now look what happens. If I do that, the other one came with it. I can pull this one down a little bit. I'm going to pull this one down. That's much better centered. Okay, so now let's right click on here, show hide, show shaded view. There it is. Right click on there. We know we're going to show hidden lines. Good. And that's all from those holes. Right click on here. There shouldn't be any, but it's always good to check, and there is not any. And then here there should be some. Here, show hidden lines. And there you have it. Okay, so now we have to do some more dimensioning. Let me just get this sheet and see what we need to put dimensions on here. Okay, so we've got a couple of things, and we're going to be in and out of the house because of just dimensioning things. So last time what I did was I dimensioned, well, let's do some overall. Okay, so this is a nice place to do the overall width. So that's there. How about here to here, overall depth? So those are 2. And how about overall height? So we can go from here to here and get the overall height. Okay, so that's done. Okay, now I see that I have a radius here, so let me pull that. I only have 1 radius, so I don't need to do a typical type thing. I do have 2 circles, so I will do a typical there. So I'm going to come there. I'm going to double click on that, brings up this box, and I pull up the TYP because I've used it before. Okay, so I want to do a couple of things now. I need to position these circles. So I like positioning. Let me go back to get my dimensioning turned on. Okay, I like this. So I have this. So I have the overall, I have that. And then I think I just need one more. Now, do I really want that one? Yeah, why not? Okay, so then I'm going to do this one from here to here. And let's see, that's going to be a problemo, but that's not too bad. So I could probably pull that one down, but this doesn't look too bad. Okay, so let's do the height. And I can actually do it and keep it in the house from here to here. And just pull it straight across and you'll get it. Okay, so that's good. Now, what else do I need? Well, I need to connect those circles. So let's do a 2-point center line from here to the center here so that you know they're on the same straight line. Okay, so that's very helpful. Okay, other things we need. I don't believe we need any more dimensions. Well, yes, we do. We need one thing over here. So let me just see. I would like to know where this little cutoff happens. So let's dimension this as well. So I know that from here to here is 1. And see, it's actually a little bit more than 1, isn't it? So that's interesting. So that's okay. We're going to leave it like that. Okay, so let's see what else we want to do. So I have my overall height. I know that that's 1, therefore that's 2. Okay, so that seems to be working okay. So those are all good. Okay, so let's put some center marks in and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to open this up and I want to do edge to edge center line. So make this a little bit bigger. And I know that that's my hidden line is there. So let's see, where do I want to have that? Well, let me look here. So what are these lines? It looks like that's, okay, so I'm going to say, doesn't that seem right? Okay, yes. Okay, so here to here, that's where my hidden line is. This other hidden line is telling me about this edge here. So I don't want to do that edge. So where are my circles? So I believe it's going to be here. Now this is not hidden because an object line took precedent. Oops, I don't want to do it that way. So let me escape out of that. I'm going to go and say escape out of that. And I go back 1 there. Okay, so let me make this a little bit bigger. And then let me try that again. Sometimes you just have to be careful. Okay, so where do I want to grab? I have to look. I think I want to grab, so I'm going to do this guy, edge to edge, center line. I want to grab this, that section, and this section. That's better. And then this vertical section and this vertical section. So a lot of times you have to just make it bigger and then it'll do it. Okay, so I think I have everything. Now I don't particularly like that one. I may need to arrange this differently. So let me escape out of there. I'm going to say delete that. And I need that dimension still, but let's see if I can get it to place it a little differently. So come bigger. I'm going to go from here to here. And so it's just a little bit too small to fit inside. So when I pull to the right, it puts it to the right. And that looks much better. Okay, I believe I have everything. So now you have everything, and notice this. This is page 3 of 3. Okay, so as opposed to having individual sheets, I can now export all of them. So let me find the export button. I don't want that. I may have to move this around a little bit. So let's see, can I move this window? Can I move that window? Okay, yes. See over here, this little key? Hit that, and let's see what that says. Does that do anything for me? So that gives me this window. I want to just see if I can right click, and I want to get an export. So I'm looking for the export. So let me see if I can figure this out. Okay, so if I go to the plus, no, I didn't want that. I thought I really wanted this. So, because I want to export this. So let me look for a second and then I'll turn this back on. Okay, so I just found what I needed. So once you have all the drawing files done, so you've got these sheets 1, 2, and 3, and you can see that you have sheet 3 of 3, you have sheet 2 of 2, you have sheet 1 of 1. So it's all the same assignment. Come down here into the drawing files and right-click it and hit export. Okay, so then you're going to export it as a PDF. And so you're going to hit export again. Now it's going to download. The second your downloading is done, it will put it down here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to print that. So from here, you're going to print. Now we should be able to print in the STEM room. There you go. I'm going to print at home. I'm going to say print. And what's going to happen is it's going to print it as one complete PDF. And that's what your job is here, is to complete this as one. You're going to turn it in to me as one complete PDF. Look at the grading requirements, and you should be good to go. So thank you for listening.